Good morning. I'm so glad you found me. I'm Pastor Corby Johnson, and I have the pleasure to bring to you Proverbs. Proverbs 15, verses 10 through 13, in a morning devotion, or an afternoon devotion, or an evening devotion. Whatever works for you. Once we post this on Facebook at 10 a.m., God willing, then it's available anytime for anyone to look. And any time for you to share if you find it helpful and you'd like to bring somebody else some of that joy as well. Or I have a few groups that meet over lunch or meet right after work. So you're welcome to use this however you'd like. Today is Proverbs 15, verses 10 through 13. Stern discipline awaits anyone who leaves the path. The one who hates correction will die. Death and destruction lie open before the Lord. How much more do human hearts? Mockers resent correction, so they avoid the wise. A happy heart makes the face cheerful, but heartache crushes the spirit. Remember that volleying back and forth that we talked about before. It goes from one who hates correction will die, death and destruction lie before the Lord, mockers resent correction, and a heartache crushes the spirit. And the other side is, how much more do human hearts mean before the Lord? And so they avoid the wise. A happy heart makes the face cheerful. That's kind of a fun way to look at these, is to take, after it says but, just separate those off, and you have all the good qualities and you have all the not so good qualities. So this one is talking about discipline, and not just a little discipline, but stern discipline for anyone who leaves the path. Now, I don't know what discipline was like in your house, but I spent a lot of time in my room. It was a separation from my mom, so I wasn't driving her crazy anymore, but a time to just go by myself and be. It was a good exercise because I still use that when I'm feeling crabby, when I'm not feeling right, and I just need to be by myself. And it usually includes a nap and just taking care of myself. So I hope that you do that too. But I want you to imagine the different kinds of discipline you've had in your life. Maybe it was a swat on the butt. Maybe it was you were grounded, or you weren't able to do something that you really wanted to do, or maybe your favorite toy got put up on the refrigerator so you couldn't reach it. Parents are pretty creative with discipline, aren't they? So just think about that, and maybe even imagine, if you're a parent, how discipline has changed over the years from when you were a child to raising your children. And maybe even like me, you have grandchildren that you're watching your son or daughter correct and lead and guide them toward righteousness. As an activity, I want you to ask yourself, what was the correction that your parents used that was the most successful with you? What was the correction that your parents used that was the most successful for you? And the next part of that is, if you have children yourself, Do you use the same kind of discipline as your parents did? Now, I remember spare the rod, spoil the child. That was the generation before me. There are all those different little sayings that people use to assure themselves that how they're disciplining their children is effective. So think about the kinds of discipline you received and the types of discipline that you doled out to your children, and kind of weigh them back and forth, and what was good and what was probably wouldn't do that again. What gave you the most success? Because God, I do believe, disciplines us, and sometimes we refer to that as a God smack. That you're doing something and it's not right, and then something happens, and it's a sudden realization, a God smack. So then, as an action, get involved in the life of a child. If you have children in your house, or if you're a grandma or grandpa, if you have daycare, you take care of other children, look around you. You will see the children that need the most help. They don't need any stern discipline. They don't need anything that's going to hurt them more than they're already hurt. Get involved in the life of that child. Make sure the parents know about it. Make sure you have their approval. And it could even be over at their house, sitting and making puzzles or telling stories or something like that. Children need other people in their lives. We have been on hold so much in the last year. It doesn't seem like we've had much contact with anyone but our own. But we're starting to branch out a little bit more. Our church is open again, and we have the Boy Scouts are back, and the United Methodist Women are back, and the food pantry and the garden are just going full blast, full speed ahead. And it's so much fun to watch everyone come to life again. And one of the first things they say is, I'm so tired of being alone. It's been really hard being alone. Well, even if we haven't had much contact with anyone but our own or friends on the phone, get out a pen and paper and write a note of encouragement to a neighbor who has children, or to the mail carrier, or to the grocery clerk, that every time you go there is a smile and an honest joy in seeing you again. And also, jot a little note to parents or to your children who are raising their own children, a note of encouragement. A note of encouragement. Our focus verse today is Proverbs 15:10. Stern discipline awaits anyone who leaves the path. Stern discipline awaits anyone who leaves the path. But I will add, at the end of this section, verse 13, a happy heart makes the face cheerful, but a heartache crushes the spirit. Lord Almighty, make your face to shine upon those servants who love you and turn their face toward you. Allow them to feel your presence deep down in their soul, and allow them to find a way to bring others around them a sense of joy and delight, even during these difficult times. See you tomorrow. Sleep well.